All right, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about control and choice. In my opinion, in order to be really creative, in order to be in a flow state, you must be emotionally open and at peace. It's hard to be creative when you're thinking about problems and life and you're too caught up. That's why children are the most creative. A lot of adults, they lose their creative. A lot of artists, they're sensitive people, but they're still like that child at the end of the day. But when you're a child, life hits hard. It's painful. That's why a lot of artists are also addicts. You know what I mean? So I think it's very important to, as a creative, to understand control and choice in order to stay in that state with source, in order to, you know, have access to the cosmic intelligence. So, Epictetus said, the chief task in life is to identify and separate what is under my control from what is not. So today's video is just understanding what's yours and what isn't. So there's two categories. You should box everything in pretty much in these two categories. Things you can control, your responses, your decisions, and actions in each moment. And then number two, the things you can't control. What is that? External events, other people, and outcomes beyond your reach. When you misplace your energy between these two, you create unnecessary suffering and it drains your mental resources. And worst of all, you suck as an artist. You know what I mean? Like, you suck as an artist when you're like this. It's hard to create art when you're suffering. Now, you could be in pain and transmute that pain, but suffering actually impedes art. All right, the great artists that showcase their pain is completely different. No one's interested in people suffering. People resonate with pain, not suffering. So here we have the stilling weir. My bad. So in terms of life and as an artist, we have the steering wheel and then we have the weather. All right. So what is the steering wheel? What responds to that? Some things react directly to your actions, like a steering wheel turning your car. Your input instantly creates immediate results, you know? So, what doesn't respond, right? Some things remain unchanged no matter what we do, like the weather. No amount of complaining will make the rain go away on your terms. And if you actually try, I don't want to be friends with you because you're something, all right? So, when people confuse these two categories, it creates frustration, anxiety, and wasted energy. And guess what? As a creative, you don't want to waste your energy. You need to save as much, especially if you're working a job. You must not focus on what's out of your control because guess what? You're going to come home and you won't have the energy to make art, okay? Next, as a creative, as a human being, what can we actually control? Well, our power, right, lives in one place, our next choice. Everything else exists outside of our direct authority. Number one, what you do, right, as an artist, as a human, the physical actions we take in response to any situation. For example, I'm feeling artistic block. Well, I can I can feel it, but it's still my duty as an artist to still take that action and still show up every day. That's within my control. And my artistic energy, my artistic weather, I can't control that. Some days I'm filled with creativity. Some days it's like a well. I can't control that. The only thing I can control is showing up. You know what I mean? that's the only thing I can really do is just show up. Am I gonna feel passionate today? I don't know. Am I gonna make something cool today? I don't know. All I do know is I could try or I can't try. I can't really control the quality of my work. And sometimes that's scary as an artist, just making a bunch of bullshit. But at the end of the day, it's not about the results. It's about the escape. It's about the process. This world sometimes is really shitty. And as an artist, I'm gonna be honest, I just make stuff because it helps me forget and remove myself from being myself. You know what I mean? From being in this reality, in this society. I think life is inherently beautiful. I think just, when people hate their life, they hate existing. It's not that they hate it, they just don't like society. The society we live in sucks. And I don't blame you. And there's nothing we can really do about that. The only thing we can really do is, if the society outside of ourselves is a hellfire and its ass, at least do our best to make our inner world heaven, make it a paradise. Number two, what you say, the words you choose and how you communicate with others is one of the few things in our control. All right? So there's a lot of filth in the world. There's a lot of pain. There's why, be mindful with your words. Be caressing, be loving with yourself, because I know everyone, while you might not talk to yourself as a crazy person, you might talk to yourself as like your own best friend. And as your own best friend, because at the end of the day, we are going to leave alone. We're not taking anything with us. We should be loving with ourselves. We shouldn't call ourselves stupid. We should clarify. Be kind to ourselves. A lot of people are mean. And we should be the only, if anything, I know a lot of people want love and stuff. We should have unconditional loves for ourselves. We should, out of everyone in this world, we should be kind to ourselves because we deserve it and we earn it. I think about like that guy, Akash, the Indian comedian, man. Like his wife, the reason a lot of people talk about that is because his wife disrespects him. And such a successful man is with a woman like that. It just tells me he doesn't really love himself, because why? Like, if you're at the top of your life, why would he be with someone? Like, yes, she's pretty. I think he's just as bad as her, because I think he's using her for her beauty, to be honest, because it's like, man, you're so successful. You deserve the best. Why you? Just because she saw you doesn't mean she really saw you. She was just there. You know what I mean? Like some people, they so desperately want to be loved, but they feel like they have to earn it. And I don't know about that, man. Like, you should don't want what you want. Want what wants you back. You know what I mean? Like, one thing that's always strange to me is these people. They, like, for example, dating. Oh my god, dating is so ass. Like, why do I have to sell myself? Like, you either like me or you don't. Like, why? Like, I don't want to. Like, for example, I like chocolate. I didn't have to think about why I like chocolate. I just liked it. And I think that's how people should date. It's like, you deserve the love, bro. You just believe you deserve the love. You deserve to be loved in the way you need to be loved. You don't have to, coerce. You don't have to sell yourself. That's weird. Find love for you. Find someone that loves you the way you want to be loved. If you have the means, do it. No, I think nothing's worse than being in a room filled of people and still feeling alone. That is not cool. I don't wish that upon anybody. All right? And if you find yourself in that situation, remove yourself. It's better to be alone in your own company than truly feeling alone surrounded by others. The next thing that's truly in our control is what we think next. The mental direction we choose after any event or trigger. Something bad happens to me. Do I react to the anger or sadness welling up inside of me? Or do I say, man, the weather inside of myself has become a turbulent storm. Let me go make music. See, I could weep. Oh, my ex broke up with me. Oh no. Oh my God. Let me go make music. That's the choice I have. Like, I'd rather do that than weep and bitch and complain. I'd rather pour my heart out in songs and transmute and maybe connect with others and grow a support system with my fans or whatever than to bitch, moan, and complain. All right. Like some people are like, I just want to be heard. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. Oh, I don't want to be heard, bro. What's the point of being heard? Like that's bullshit. That's garbage. Like why I want to be heard? I, I I'm wired for solutions. I'm not wired for complaining. Okay. So last but not least is where your attention goes. The focus point you select in each moment of awareness is the last thing you can control, all right? Where you place your attention. And now, it's also habitual because a lot of these things I can make it sound so simple, but keep in mind, viewer, person watching this video, chances are the reason why you can't change, the reason why you suffer is because you're actually a slave to your habits. And one of the most fundamental things I tell everyone is learn how habits work and realize just how much of a slave you are to your habits. You are actually in a flesh prison and you don't even know it. You don't even know it. You might have a feeling, but you don't even know it. And this only goes out to the people that actually want to bring about change in their life. If you feel like you're constantly saying things but the actions aren't happening, it's because there's a disconnect between your consciousness and your flesh suit. Learn about habits, reprogram your flesh suit. Stop seeing the body as you, stop being the owner. It's just a flesh suit. It's just a flesh suit. All right? So, as artists, as people, we fight the wrong battles. Most suffering comes from attempting to control things that exist completely outside of your spirit influence. Listen, when I first started producing, man, when I started making beats, even now, man, like when I make music, like vocals, bro, my vocals, terrible, bro. I can't control what I do. I can control what I show up, but quality, I have no input, man. Like I get better, but I can't even control how I improve. I could show up, I could practice. Does not, I don't dictate that. It's like I'm a plant. You know what I mean? When it comes to like art and progression, it's like a plant. You know what I mean? You water a corn. I'm not gonna say corn, but you put a seed, right? And you're waiting for it to sprout. Are you gonna scream at the plant for not growing when you want it to grow? It grows when it grows. You know what I mean? Like for a lot of times when I make music, recording, I have these improvements out of nowhere, no control. You could try 500% today, and then future you who stayed consistent isn't even gonna try and will outclass you in every single way without even trying. So show up today, do what you can today, accept yourself today as you are, not where you want to be. Accept what you are, not where you want to be. All right? So the wrong battles most people face, artists, everyone, is other people, their thoughts, their feelings, their decisions, and the actions belong to them alone. Like I'm gonna be honest, you're stupid if you're trying to influence people, you're trying to change people. I'm sorry, you're dumb. You can't control people. You can manipulate people, you could do that, but I mean, if you want to be loved, is that really love? Like you fabricated that love, so I don't think that counts. You can't control people's opinions and thoughts or actions or anything. At the end of the day, people do what they want to do, and you got to do the same. Outcomes. As an artist, you could bust your ass off, but chances are you're gonna keep creating bullshit. That's just the truth. That's part of the process. You have to accept failure. I fail 99%. Actually, no, I've been making this music since like almost COVID, and guess what? I've kind of failed every single time. Like maybe not so much with beats, but like in terms of making songs, I have failed every single time, again and again. I have not, in terms of like completing a song, has not happened so far. Why? Because I can't control my voice. I take classes, singing lessons and whatnot, but I can't control myself. I can only improve, and hopefully one day my mind and body align, but I can't control the outcome. I can't create and hit song like that. That's just the truth. I could do my best, but the outcome, that's up to the universe. So the final results depends on countless factors beyond your input. All you can really do is just show up. Timing. When things operate on schedules you can't control, don't stress about that. Don't ruminate. Past events, it already happened. Like, why are you fixated on the past? It's permanently fixed. It's etched into history, reality, into the cosmos. It's unchangeable. Just move on, right? I know. Sometimes it sucks, but just move on. I don't know what to tell you. Randomness, luck, chance, unpredictable circumstances follow no rules. Why stress? Why waste your precious creative energy on that bullshit, And I understand why it's hard. Thoughts are sticky, and this is why you got to meditate, because the thing is, you literally have to rip your attention away from shit. You have to rip it away. You have to sit down and learn how your body and mind operates, and you do that through meditation. Yes, I could talk about the wee wee wah wah, spiritual miracle, crystals, whatever, or I could just tell you, listen, notice how your attention is ripped away from you. Listen, you scrolling, your attention is being ripped away from. The reason why you scroll and you doom scroll is because you don't and unable to rip your attention away. And the way you solve that is through meditation. All right. Thoughts, sticky, like thoughts, emotions, habits are very, very sticky. Your attention gets stuck and you have to like yank, and it's painful. But meditation teaches you that. That's really the real purpose of meditation, is to learn how to actually have free will in terms of your attention. So these are all the unwinnable fights. Every minute spent here is a minute lost. So what you got to do is really redirect your energy, let go of your old patterns. Mental energy scattered across unchangeable circumstances creates exhaustion. You won't be able to be creative. You won't be at peak performance when you're like this. Focus, concentrated. The focus should be concentrated on available choices in the present moment. Follow the efficiency principle. Stop investing mental energy into things that cannot change. Move your focus towards the choices available right now. Go make your music, go make your art, go make your video game, go start that business. That's all creative. Creativity is creating something from nothing. You like making it, you bringing it into existence. You need that energy. So why does serenity matter when you're an artist or you're a creative? The past is fixed, No amount of regret or rumination will alter what has already occurred. Live with your mistakes. Live with your scars. Live what happened and move on. It's hard. It's painful, because eventually your identity solidifies and it's painful to move on. But it is what it is. You could suffer by moving on. You could feel the pain of moving on, or you could feel the pain of staying the same. The choice is yours. You're still feeling pain. You're still gonna hurt. It's different. The reason why people stick with the pain of staying the same is because it's familiar. The pain of change is painful and unknown. The mind doesn't like the unknown. It fears it. Like walking alone in pitch black darkness, The mind fears what it can't comprehend. So other people are independent, They operate with their own agency outside of your command. And last but not least, the present choice is movable. This is the only piece that responds to intention. So you're feeling uncomfortable? Billion different reasons why you shouldn't do what you need to do, like make music, make art, start that business. Just take that action, man. That's the only thing you can really do. You can't guarantee success, but you can guarantee that you showed up today. You took one step. If you can't take a step, crawl, squirm, move like a worm, Change happens when your attention sits in the present, not trapped in the unchangeable past or the unpredictable future. So what are dead zones versus live zones? Not all territory deserves your attention. Learn to recognize where action matters and where it doesn't. Dead zones, area where your effort produces zero results. The past and historical events, other people's choices, random external events, circumstances beyond influences, things already decided. Energy spent here vanishes without return. the live zone, the single area where effort creates change, the action you could take right now, the work you speak today, the decision waiting for you, the habit you can begin, the step available this moment, opening up FL Studio, writing that book, writing a word for the book, reading that book, you know what I mean? Painting, or putting on your gym sneakers to prepare to go to the gym. That's better. Like you at least tried. Or just walking out of the house. You know what I mean? All your power lives here. So here are some practical drills to really help you blossom as an artist and be free of suffering is build the habit of categorization through consistent practice. This drill is going to strengthen your ability to sort situations. Listen, as an artist, your most valuable thing is your creative energy and your peace. While if you are not at peace, the quality of your work goes down and it's tough to express. So, you're going to create two columns. You're going to label them clearly, not mine and mine. And then you're going to sort every situation. When something bothers you, place it in the correct column immediately. And repeat this daily. You know, you don't have to practice the sorting process until it becomes automatic and effortless. Seriously, make a habit of journaling. Like, you don't have to write about your feelings or your day. You could make the habit of journaling and just sort what went through your mind, and that's it. That's good enough. Imagine where you'll be if you do that every single day. You sort what you fixated on. You know, the faster you can categorize, the less energy you waste on things outside your control. Remember, habits build over time and become automatic. Eventually, yeah, you might have to manually sort in the beginning, but over time, your brain is going to do that automatically. And the things outside of your control, you're not even going to bother. It's not even going to cross your mind. It's going to be like, oh, to the trash. You know what I mean? And eventually, you're just going to think about the things that matter. Practice drill number 2 to become a creative god is notice triggers. When something happens that captures your attention or emotional energy, ask the question, does this respond to my actions or not? And then 3, take clear action. If no, drop it immediately. If yes, act on it now. This 5-second evaluation prevents hours of wasted mental energy. Train yourself to execute it instantly. Because remember, you know, creative energy can be scarce. Yes, it's possible to have like infinite, but in the beginning, you know, all these things drain your energy. All these things that you can't control, all the rumination, thoughts, it's all wasting your limited energy. All right? As an artist, you must have as much energy in your reserves as possible. Why? Because making art is as beautiful as it is, it's also painful. Some people cannot be creative because they can't handle failure. They fail and they attach their identity to that. And if that's you, you can't be an artist. I'm sorry. You can't. You can't. Why? Because art is 99% failure, you know? 99% failure. Like what you see out there, you don't see the stuff that sucked. And practice number 3. My bad. Practice drill number 3 to be the best artist that you can is, or the best creative, because, you know, you create creativity at the end of the day. I'm gonna reiterate, creativity is bringing nothing, is creating something from nothing. All right, willing into existence something that didn't exist. It could be a child, it could be a family, it could be a business, anything. All right, it's to convert complaints into actions. Complaints signal misplaced energy. Use them as triggers for redirection towards controllable action. 1, catch the complaint. Notice whenever you express frustration about something outside of your control. 2, rewrite it as action. Immediately transform it into something you can actually do. They don't support me becomes, I will improve this skill, post this content, and refine this approach. Every complaint becomes a compass pointing towards your next controllable move. All right. Practice drill number 4 to become the best creative that you can be is focus on the smallest action. What can I do right now? Oh, I don't want to make beats. Just open up FL Studio. Just open up a Logic. Just open up your DAW, bro. Just do that, you know? Just open it up. That's good enough, bro. Or place one note and call it a day, because the thing is, the struggle is really starting, not actually doing it. We dread starting, because to start a task, it takes a tremendous amount of energy, a lot of energy spent on starting, not actually doing. Remember that, creatives. Most of the battle of being a creative person is actually starting, not doing the creative thing. All right. So, what can I do right now? This question cuts through overwhelm and brings you back to reality. The answer is never about outcomes, it's about long term plans or other people's decisions. So, not the outcome. Stop focusing on how things will end, not the long term plan. Stop worrying about the full journey, just the next step. Don't worry about all that shit. Just say, what can I do now that will take me where I want to go? Sometimes you can't walk. Sometimes you can't even crawl. Man, sometimes you can't even move a centimeter. So move a millimeter, move a decimeter, move in the right direction no matter how small, because progress is progress. All right? Nothing changes if nothing changes. But if something changes, it's something changes, you know? Even if you move a decimeter, move a decimeter is better than zero. 0.000000001 is better than a straight up zero, because you're still making progress. You're still moving. You still haven't become stagnant. If that's the best you could do today, that's the best you could do today. But at least you ain't no zero, right? You ain't no zero. And then practice drill number 5 to become the best creative that you can is each day do a brief audit of your energy allocation. Consistency builds awareness and strengthens your control muscle. Where did I waste my creative energy? Identify moments when you fought unchangeable circumstances. 2. Where did I take control? Notice when you focus your available actions and made progress. 3. What will I control tomorrow? Set clear intention for where your energy goes next. Okay, my creatives? 5 minutes of daily review builds months of accumulated wisdom about your energy pattern. The advantage of mastering this distinction gives you a competitive edge in every area of life. While others exhaust themselves fighting uncontrollable forces, you focus on where your action actually matters, on your creative pursuits, all right? You're going to get lower stress, less anxiety from trying to control the uncontrollable, higher discipline. Why? Because you're finally going to be the creative you always knew you were. You're going to have consistent action on what actually moves you forward. You're going to have clear decisions because now you know what not to waste your time on, you know? You know where your power lives as the creative that you are. And your stability with external chaos is going to increase, and you're going to feel less mental noise from irrelevant concerns. So, if you really want to be the best artist that you can, the cool rule is energy scattered across unchangeable circumstances, like other people's choices, past regrets, and future worries. That's your old operating systems. You cared about that stuff before. But the new you, the new creative that you are, your energy is concentrated on your present choices, available actions, and controllable responses. You need to master this distinction, and life becomes winnable. The shift is simple, but it's not easy. It requires constant practice, daily awareness, and the courage to let go of delusion that you can control more than you do. Your power lives in accepting what you cannot change and acting decisively on what you can. So my question to you, the viewer, is what will you control today? You now have the framework, the drills, everything is clear. All you can really do is act. Ask yourself, what responds to my action, what does not? And start creating, man. Get on it. Bye.